pretty, sparkly and full of creativity. Welcome to my channel. Let's make something beautiful. To start my card today, I've created this frame. For the frame, I picked out the Ombre Floral die set from my stash. This is one of the latest releases by Lisa Horton's Crafts, but I only used that outer frame to die cut that rectangle, and then I just used my craft knife to cut that window into it. It's about a ½ inch of a wide frame now. And today I am going to create some texture onto this. I took this stencil out of my stash. This came with one of the magazine box kits. And this is like a bubble wrap kind of a stencil, and I absolutely love it. I use it all the time. I picked out straw hat from the Cloud9 Matt Blending Ink pads, and I'm going around the entire frame. Then without removing that stencil, I'm going to add some sparkle to this. To do that, I'm going to use the transparent holographic effect paint. This is amazing. You'll see it when it dries. I'll show you the results. Just fantastic. So today I just use my palette knife to smooth it on, but you can also water this down, use it with your brush. There's chunky bits of holographic elements in it, but this is so beautiful, so different to anything I've used before. So it is quite chalky looking in there. It has to dry back clear, but it will, and I will show you exactly how gorgeous this is. So I'm just smoothing down around the edges where there are some larger holographic bits in there, just with my fingers. And then after a quick cleanup, it's time to start working on our background. This panel is a white watercolor card, and it's just large enough to fit behind that frame. I spritzed the cardstock with water, and also the straw hat ink is the same that I used earlier on. I added a little bit of that onto my craft mat, spritzed it, diluted it with water, and pulled the color up with the cardstock. Now the second time I'm doing the same thing, only I added less water, and to create this gorgeous textured looking background, the crucial step in here is, if you want to avoid all the shades of the color or all the different colors smudging together, is to let the panel properly dry between layers. And you can see I am speeding up the process here with my heat tool. And now I'm doing the same thing, except I'm using a different ink pad. This is the Peanut Glue from the Color Shift ink pads, and this is such an impulse purchase that I made, and I am so happy that I've done this. I can't stop using these ink pads, guys. Lisa has an incredible offer on these, so make sure you go and check those out. I will leave a link to them in the description box below. As far as I'm aware, once they are gone, they are gone, and that shimmer is really worth it. Make sure you check those out. I chose an ink splattery stamp from the Museum Maker collection, and I'm just going to add some extra texture to this background. I want to add some lovely shine, so I'm using my Wow Ultimate ink pad to stamp this all over the surface. And I did use my anti-static bag because there was so much water sprayed on this background. I didn't want the embossing powder to stick everywhere else. Although I'm not going for a clean look in here, as you can see, I'm not really worried if a little bit of gold powder gets here or there. And the gold powder by Wow I'm using is the Polished Gold Superfine. It is really beautiful and super shiny. So I just keep going back and forth, adding some more stamps in there, and then I'm heat setting it with my tool, and you'll see that beautiful shine of the polished gold embossing powder once melted. How gorgeous is this? I really love the background, the way it's turning out. And this is the frame to go on top of that, but I didn't like how stark white that frame looked against my background, so I decided to mute down all that white background in there. So I brought back the same Color Shift ink pad. This is the Peanut Glue I used earlier on. I added a little smudge of it onto my craft mat, and then I diluted it down with water. I'm just adding loads and loads of ink splatters all around it. It is quite subtle, but does take away from that bright white color that I had in there against that background. It just doesn't look as odd anymore. It's just my personal preference to do it this way. I absolutely love the results. And in here, introducing the Perfect Posie collection. This is a brand new release, which Lisa Horton is releasing today on the 31st of July 2026. And just to say the date in case you're watching this back much later. But this collection is amazing. Die set, stamp set, layering stencils, and embossing folder. It has the whole lot in it. And today I'm going to focus on the die set in here that you can see. showing you all the different elements. We have outline dies, we have a background die, we have lots of individual floral and foliage dies, stamen and stencil sentiment as well, which you can stencil through, but that's for another video I will show you. But today we are going to focus on some flowers and foliage to add some lovely detail to our cards. You can see I have a bunch die cut in here because I was working on my samples for the new release. And I will be using both the die cuts, the solid ones in there as you can see, and then the outline ones I am cutting out just from these outline die cuts in here. So I will be adding these on top of my flowers and they will turn out so pretty. And this is just another way of showing you what way you can use your dies. Now, because my background colors are quite neutral, I really had a blank canvas in here what colors I wanted to use. So I went with rhubarb jam and juicy pineapple. Not two colors I would normally mix together, but I thought I'll push it out a little bit. Actually, at first I picked out the sweet violet, which is a real purple instead of the rhubarb jam, but then I decided to change that. I just didn't feel that eccentric today. But I am absolutely loving the results of these. So I was so happy that I decided to go with the rhubarb jam in here. And you could see I blended the two colors onto the solid die cut. And I'm just adding quite a heavy layer of the one color onto the outline in there. And look how pretty that looks already. Only going to add the glue in the middle of that flower. And then you will be able to lift those petals up just for a little bit of a dimension and interest. But for the smaller flowers, I will be gluing the entire outline onto the solid die cut because obviously those then have that center that these larger flowers do. So off camera, I just finished all of them. And then I'm using bundled sage for the green to add some color to my foliage. Some of these are die cut with the individual foliage dies and some of them are cut off that outline die cut. So I'm just using a bit of this and a bit of that for a variation in there. And now this frame is dry and you can just about pick up on, look at that. You can see it in there, that holographic shine that paint gives it. It's just so beautiful. When you tilt it to the light, it is just next level. Absolutely fantastic. I was so happy with how this was turning out. So I am adding foam pads just all around that frame to raise it up a little bit. And then I will work on my card base. My card base is a top folding 6.5 inch square card. And I have a panel, white panel here, just slightly smaller than that. And I'm going to use the Peanut Glow color shift ink pad just to go around the edges. Just add a little color. This is my way of making sure that everything will be color matching. I could have used the colored paper here if I wanted to, but it wouldn't have been the exact same color as is already featured on my card. So I just do like doing this. And in here, you can see that shine. It looks metallic a bit. It is gorgeous. Honestly, these color shift ink pads, they have a very subtle shimmer, but when you see it, it is beautiful. So I glued this straight onto my card base just in there, just using my color glue, which was a bit clogged up because then a big blob of glue came out. I was so happy that I didn't ruin everything in there with it. It's just literally shot out of that bottle in there. Then this next layer is a watercolor card again, and just slightly smaller than the one I inked up with the Peanut Glow. And I am creating a waterwash background again using the same Straw Hat ink pad I used earlier on. Again, letting it dry between layers or using my heat tool to speed up the process. I'm going to show you another technique that you can try if you don't have a craft or you don't like using your craft mat like this. You can take a piece of acetate, add your ink and water onto that, and this way you can actually get a much more controlled design because you can see exactly where you're going in with the inks and how heavy you want to press down on it. Now for my next step, I'm going to bring back the same stencil I used earlier on and just using the same ink pad, I'm going down just patches here and there. I'm not covering the entire area. Now, if you don't have a stencil like this, you could just use bubble wrap. Ink up your bubble wrap and use your prints from that. That would be absolutely fantastic too. So, To bring a bit of a gold onto this panel as well, I am just dabbing my ink pad all around the edges of the card, and I'm brushing away anything excess in there. I didn't let this dry properly before doing this, so I'm just brushing away any excess powder that I didn't want it to be. I really wanted just a thin line or a thin border all around the four edges in here. Now you can see I'm giving it a little bit of a dry before going on to the next sides. But I'm using the same polished gold embossing powder. Now again, quite organic looking. I'm not going for any straight lines. If I wanted straight lines in there, I would have masked off with some masking tape, but I really wanted to have it nice and organic looking in there. I had an idea that I want to add some sort of a bow to this, but I wasn't sure whether I was going to go with a die cut or I was going to go with a ribbon. So what I like to do, bring everything in here, and then this way visually it helps me decide what is it that I like the most. I tried this ribbon in here, and this is like a glittery gold ribbon, but 1 inch or maybe just a little wider than a 1 inch. And I fell in love with how it looked in there, so I decided immediately I'll go with this. I never even tried die cut bows on it. I just loved what way it looked. So what I like to do is add a little bit of double-sided tape in the back in here that will hold my ribbon in place in there until I can cover it in double-sided foam then. And this is how I will add this panel onto my card front. The ribbon will be running down along the left hand side in there, but of course you can add that on the top or along the bottom or wherever that you prefer. And then I removed the backing from the foam along the frame, and I added my watercolor panel there behind it. And then I just glue this straight onto the card. Then it is time to start arranging my flowers and foliage, and I'm going with the 2 corners of that frame. I'm using my hot glue in here to add all the different elements, and you can see I added 3 flowers in the top left, 2 in the bottom right corner. And I am just filling out all those areas with the leaves and foliage in there. And you can see I'm tearing away some of the leaves because they were too long and would have been overhanging too much. And this way I can use those individual ones that I just tore off to fill out some other areas. So this is one other way that you can utilize the die cuts that you already have to make some fuller compositions. In here I'm taking a piece of this ribbon and I'm just wrapping it around my fingers to tie it into a bow, and I made a double bow in here. It's not too big. I think it's the perfect size just for this card. And in here I will be deciding whether I want to add it right in the middle of that ribbon running along the left hand side or along the top. I like both, but I thought in the top it was just too much with all the flowers already in there. Now this is something, don't try it at home, girls, boys. I do like to seal the ends of my ribbon, especially like this one. It is very, very free if I don't seal it with a little bit of a heat. The tails were a little bit too long for my liking, so I cut them down shorter again. And I'm just going to use again my hot glue gun just to glue it down in the middle, right in there. And it doesn't show here on the camera, but it is such a lovely glittery ribbon. It really is. I will show you some footage at the very end of this video. You'll be able to see it in more detail. Behind the bow, I just added a little dot of glue just to the ribbon to hold it onto the card. Now these are the stamen that I've die cut also from white card, and I'm using the Peanut Glow Color Shift ink pad to add some lovely shimmery color to them, and I'm going to add this then in the middle of those flowers. Oh wow, I had to pause there. I don't know if you picked up on the noise, but there was a massive helicopter, and I mean massive one. We do get helicopters here every now and again, but this one's huge. Nearly took the roof of the house off. I thought it was so low. Scared me. Well, back to crafting in here. I inked up a little bit of a cardstock with the Rubber Jam Cloud9 ink pad, dried it, add a little bit of anti-static powder in there because obviously it's inky and I don't want the powder I will be using to stick everywhere. This stamp is from the You're Amazing stamp and die set, again by Lisa Horton. I'm not sure if this one's released in the UK yet, but it is coming soon if it's not just yet. Cutting it out with the matching die because the cardstock's warped. I do like to tuck it in place with a bit of low-tack tape, and then I will be adding some foam, 3D foam behind it just to raise it up a little bit, and they look so elegant. I know some other makes have been shared already using this stamp and die set, and it is one of my favorites. So beautiful. Really lovely font and really lovely die cuts. So to finish my card, I'm going to add some rhinestones to this. I did think of adding gold ones first, but then I decided to go with completely clear ones. These have no color to them at all. They look white now as I'm laying them because obviously the glue is white, but once it dries, it will dry back clear and you will see how gorgeous that will be. Just wait for my footage after this one. This one I was recording in the middle of the night. The next morning, here it is, and just look at that. So because the color underneath those rhinestones is water reactive, it really actually pulled up some of that color. So it's very subtle because blends in with the color underneath, but still gives that gorgeous sparkle. And just look at all that lovely texture in the background, the shine of the holographic effect paint on the frame, and then the heat embossed and the color shift ink shimmer on the background in there. I just absolutely love how everything in here looks. Bit of a mixed media, warm and elegant colors. I would love to know what is your favorite part of this card, so make sure you leave it to me in the description box below so I can read your wonderful comments. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you support me by subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing my video. I cannot wait to share my next inspiration with you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more pretty and sparkly crafts, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crafting!